you were both fresh off the boat as well as raised here, all at the same time. Do you have, if there's anything through your experience as a Muslim in America, one thing that you learned that you would like to give it as advice to the youth and to the parents raising those youth in America as to Islam, and how to not only succeed, how to survive this ideological climate that is attacking our very nature?
I think if I were to actually, and this is a really difficult question, by the way, because I have teenagers and I try, and sometimes you can say something very ethereal and very theoretical. One time I attended a lecture by one of the sisters, and my wife was with me, and she was giving a talk about marriage in Islam, and she said every beautiful thing there is. Every beautiful thing there was, and harmony, and Allah, and mawadda, and rahmah, and mercy, and love, and compassion. And we agreed with everything that she said. When we left, I looked at my wife, I said, that was a most beautiful talk. She must not be married. And if you asked me about an advice about this 10 years ago, I would give you the best advice. But now I'm a parent of a teenager. And I came to this country as a teenager.
And now you see why I ask you this question.
So it gets a lot more messy.
Yeah.
Not that I have a bad teenager. Alhamdulillah, I have a really good teenager. But just like I came to this country with his struggles, he has his struggles. All of us have our struggles. So teenage years, it's called murahaq, which means trouble, right? And it's testing times. It's trying times. It's trying times for you. You don't know who you are. You want to know who you are. You are frustrated with who you are, and you are frustrated with the system and with your parents and everybody else. You are changing, and you are growing, and you're struggling, and you're confused, and you're experimenting, and you are, and you have so many, I have one of my youth who said, look, I have two voices, and each one of them is telling me something, and what do I do? How do I listen? And I know what is right, and I know what is wrong, but somehow, and this is a talk that I was having with a teenager literally 2 weeks ago, but somehow I always manage to do the wrong thing. And as a teenager, talking to your parents, you always feel you are doing the wrong thing, because they always tell you only when you're doing the wrong thing. And why did you bring me here? Why do you have to hold this? Why do we have to be different than others? Why? And the parents will say, oh my gosh, did we make the right choice by coming to America? Did we, are we giving our kids the best? Are our kids going to be Muslim? I can tell you that they're going to be fine. I think there is a sense of urgency on the parents, and there's a sense of urgency on the child. I think the most important part is really to trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and tie your camel. No, don't just trust, but also tie. What do I mean by that? The kids, no matter what happens, they have to stay open and respectful with the parents. And I think the relationship has to be based on love. Now, love is not a passive thing. Love is an active thing. Love is a messy thing. Love is struggle. It's a sacrifice. Love of the child towards the parents is to be trusting and to be open with them and to really have a communication with them. Because what do parents want for their children?
To be better than them, basically.
Be better. And to always, and what do they want for you? Something that makes you happy. Something that makes you happy in this life and the hereafter. Whatever your parents do for you, it's out of concern, out of love, out of compassion. Sometimes they may say the wrong things. Sometimes they may do the wrong things. Sometimes they can be really annoying. Sometimes they can be very overbearing. But you have to understand, whatever they do, they're doing it out of love.
And I think we forget that our parents are humans.
Yes. And as my kids will tell you, they thought that their father is perfect when they are 5 and 6 and 7. And then they start recognizing that, oh my gosh, my father has problems, has some issues. And then they become teenager. Oh my gosh, my parents have issues, right? And all of us go through that. It's just, and I think for the parents to recognize that this period of time is more difficult for the teenager than it is for them. And that they were teenagers at some point. And to hug that teenager rather than to punish that teenager. Sometimes you may have to be grounded, and sometimes we have to pull you out of the fire. Sometimes we have to do, but at the same time to be compassionate, to be accepting, not accepting of a bad behavior, but embracing the person despite their bad behavior and correcting in the process. And I think that level of love and compassion that the teenager has respect. And I think the teenagers, what they think is, well, if I hide it from my parents, I'm going to be okay. What I tell the teenager, لا تجعل الله أهون الناظرين إليك. Don't let Allah the least significance of everyone who knows you and sees you.
No, of your viewers, of your audience too.
Yes. So don't let anyone, if your parents don't know, Allah knows. If your parents don't know, somebody else knows. And hiding a problem. So what is the hardest thing in medicine? So I'm a surgeon, right? What is the hardest thing for us?
Not knowing what the problem is.
That's right. The moment you identify the problem, the solution is there. But if you hide your problems from your parents and you don't seek help, that doesn't mean, some people are embarrassed. This is not going to be going very well. If it's not your parents, find somebody else who you trust in the community that can help you as well. Back home, it's the village that raises you. Here, it's the nuclear family. But always have an open communication with your parents. Hiding things never helps anyone. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to be upset. That doesn't mean I'm not going to feel hurt. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to be sometimes even disappointed. But I have to move my emotions away and say, this is about you. This is not about me. This is my duty to you supersedes my emotions that are caused by you. Right? So that as a parent, and as a parent, I have to say, hey, how are things going? What's going on? How are you doing? And talk to your, اذكر الله في الرخاء يذكرك في الشدة. Remember God in times of ease, He will remember you in times of difficulty. Don't let your communication with your child only when they are in trouble. Build that relationship. Build that friendship. Make the effort to connect. I mean, my kid plays a game. I don't really know anything about it, and I find it very dizzying. But sometimes I go to his room and I just watch him play. Do I personally think, for me, is it a waste of time? Yes. Do I agree with it? No. I think there are so many 100,000 other things that are more beneficial. But that's something meaningful for him, right? So I have to engage him on that level. And I'll say, look, I know you like this. I just need you to tell me, what do you think is reasonable time for you to spend on it? So that you are not there for 10 hours, but also you're not saying, oh my gosh, my parent takes the screen all day long, that I don't have any free time for myself also. I will leave the parents with one advice, which is connect before you correct. Connect with your youth. Get to know who they are. Get to know what their struggles are. Because regardless of your, as a parent, insecurities, their insecurities are a lot greater. Regardless of how frustrated you are, they are much more frustrated than you are. You may be able to control your emotions. They don't. Your hormones have already started kind of equilibrating. Their hormones are not. You go to your very good office. People are very pleasant. People are very kind. People bring you things and whatnot. And you go home. They go out in the community, people call them names. People say mean things to them. People offer them something. People try to deceive them. People try to have them smoke something.
Their teacher yells at them. They get bullied.
So they see the extremes of a human interaction almost on daily basis. Your life is monotonous and regular routine because you have achieved a certain level where you don't have to be exposed to the messiness of the society around them. That's for the parents. Connect before you correct. For the youth, be open, be honest, be strong. You are a Muslim. Be proud of it. And your job, and I'll summarize it with this. You should not strive to belong if you can be extraordinary. And the difference between an extraordinary and ordinary is that little extra. And Allah has given you that little extra. So celebrate it. Embrace it. Be proud of it. That doesn't mean you're not going to be tested.
All right.
But that test is what makes you stronger. And that test is what makes you who you are. So be proud as a Muslim. Be vocal as a Muslim. When you are that, you actually will have the friends who are your true friends. I tell people, if you have to change to acquire friends, then you have the wrong company. But the people who care for you will care for you no matter what. And if you are true to yourself, it's the people who are true who are going to come to be your friends. And if you look at, I have had friends in high school, in college, in medical school, and, throughout my life. The people that I still keep in touch with the most are the people who are my truest, who have accepted me for who I am. And who most of the time have aligned with my view of the world, with not only religiously, but service, volunteer, caring, compassion, whatever it is, we have aligned on a very deep level. So be proud, be vocal, be open, and communicate. Teenagers are horrible communicators.
Yeah.
And, sometimes everybody's doing it except of us. Well, no, not everybody. Probably you and 5 other people. In reality, the vast majority of your high school does not take drugs. In reality, the vast majority, and this is statistics, in reality, the vast majority of your high school are not basically sleeping around. These are statistics. In reality, the vast majority of your high school may have tried alcohol, but most of them don't drink it, to get drunk all the time every weekend. Even in college, that is not true also either. But the popular culture leads you to believe well, oh my gosh, everything that these people do is just sex, drugs, and alcohol. That's all they do all day long. And you're like, no, these people are very high functioning. They go to college, they go to classes, they go to this, they do homework, they have quizzes, they have exams, they hold a job or 2 or 3, they pay their own tuition. So there's so many things that people are doing, but you only see the shell outside. You don't see who they are on the inside. And you're not alone. There are so many people like you, and therefore you have to seek them out. If you are the candle, don't blow yourself out to live in the darkness. Be the candle so that other people can come to your light. And that's why if you stand out, if you can stand out, you should not just be happy to fit in. That doesn't mean you should be the weirdo. I've never been the weirdo. Maybe some people may think I am. But I've never striven to be I just want to be the weird guy. No. But I also never wanted to be the most popular. That was not my job, right? As somebody says, I am at a level in my career where I'm very high up, and I travel the world and I give talks at national, international, and I'm relatively well known in my field. Whenever I go and give a talk, I can't please everyone. So what I tell them, if you want to please everyone, you should just go get yourself an ice cream truck and sell it. Sell the ice cream, then everybody will be happy. Right? But if you have views, there will be people who agree with you and there will be people who disagree with you. And you have to learn how to live with that. So connect before you correct for the adults. And for the youth, recognize that at some point you will meet God and you're on a path, you're on a journey. Be that light, be that candle, be that beacon. Don't extinguish that light in you.
Connect.